Greetings to all class 8 students. Welcome back to your English class. This beautiful picture that you are seeing on screen with a man lying with a polar bear is of Mark Dumas, a 60 years old man from British Columbia who has been raising a polar bear in his house. In this picture, you can see a lion sitting with two other men, Anthony and John from Australia. These two persons, while visiting London's Harrods Centre, purchased this lion cub and raised this lion in their own house and named him Christian. When Christian grew up in size and grew older, they released Christian into wild. And after 10 years, again they visited Christian when the lion recognized his foster fathers and accepted and welcomed both of them. Yes. In this picture, this is an animal trainer who befriended with his favorite lion. What I am trying to say here is, man's relation with animals is very old. It can be traced back to the beginning of civilization. Basically, man is also an animal, but more rational and wiser animal. Man is the best creation of and the measure of all things. The friendship between human and animals is more reliable and lasting forever. The pet animals respond better to our care, our love, and our friendship with them. Men's friendship with men may not last long, but men's friendship with animals would surely go a long way. Animals, birds, and such other creatures are never ungrateful to what you have done for them. Once they are friends to you, they are forever friends, because they never turn hostile what may come. They are constantly loyal, faithful to you, and their bond of friendship does last long, perhaps forever, because they do not know betrayal, how to deceive, and how to play foul. And that is why they have been so useful to mankind. Many of the animals are our real and true friends, especially dogs and cats and all other house pets. They can live in perfect harmony and friendship with us. Therefore, it is the moral responsibility of us not to violate their rights and to always keep our moral responsibility towards them, to look after them, not to breach the conditions laid by environment, because they are also a very crucial part of the food chain. And we have to respect them. We have to give them, offer them a lot of love and affection, which is unconditional, because in return, they reciprocate the same towards us. Right? Okay. Today we want to start a beautiful chapter, chapter 6. This is Jody's Fawn. This chapter is all about a small boy who killed a mother doe, a mother deer, and made a fawn orphaned. Now, to kill his guilty feeling of, killing the mother doe, he raised the baby fawn, brings the baby fawn home, and trying to do everything what he could. Right? Before we start, I want to tell you I want to leave you with a beautiful quote by Gandhi. What he said once: the greatness of a nation, the greatness of any nation, and its moral progress can be judged by the way its animals are treated. Yes, it's true. Life is as dear to a mute creature as it to men. Just as one wants to live happily and fears pain, just as one wants to live and not to die, so do other creatures. This is spoken by Dalai Lama. So you see, all the great leaders of this world, they all have favored and promoted the rights of animals. Right? The chapter 6, this is Jody's Fawn. I talked about what this story is going to bring to you. Let me talk about the characters of it. Yes, there are some 6 characters in this chapter. Jody is the main character here. He is a small young boy, and he felt so bad for the fawn which was left alone in the forest without his mother, because the mother was killed by him because he wanted to save his father. Now, Mr. and Mrs. Buxter, they are Jody's parents. They both are addressed as Pa Buxter and Ma Buxter, right? Other 2 characters are Mealwheel and Doc Wilson. These 2 people are the foresties, right? Who are the foresties? Those people who love to roam about forest, and they have a lot of knowledge about forest and the jungles as to how to manage living in there, right? If you are traveling or you have to pass by the forest, what are the precautions that one should have, right? They are the foresties. So let us start now, without much ado, the chapter. In the chapter, this orphan fawn is going to be raised by a young boy named Jody, right? Let's go to the chapter. Okay, I wish you all keep your textbook open. I am here on page number 37, chapter 6. This is Jody's Fawn. Now, before we read, let's go through this so that we can get connected to the main theme of the chapter. Often, instead of rushing to the doctor to treat a small cut or burn, we find quick and effective cures using things available at home. Well, such things are called home remedies, right? Can you think of such home remedies? Let's say a cut on your knee. Perhaps when our knee is accidentally cut, we usually use the paste of turmeric powder, which is applied. Since turmeric powder has a lot of antibacterial and anti-inflammatory properties in it, turmeric powder can be used for accidentally cut skins and the wounds. A burn on your arm or a bee sting. Usually when something happens accidentally, we tend to, use the home remedies, which are there's no harm in it. I mean, as long as it is not hurting others and not causing any suffering to anyone, home remedies can certainly be used. But for emergencies, it is better that one should visit the doctor. When there is a question of life and death, a doctor should be intervened, right? In this story, Jody's father has been bitten by a rattlesnake. A rattlesnake is, a snake that belongs to a sort of, venomous species, very poisonous as well. He quickly kills a doe. A doe is a mother deer, and uses its heart and liver to draw out the poison. Now, how he had done, it is not mentioned in the chapter. But what is mentioned is perhaps the doe's heart and the liver has the medicinal properties that can really depoison someone upon being bitten by a rattlesnake. Jody wonders what will happen to the little fawn left without a mother. Well, his worry is also justified because he is a sensible, very thoughtful, small young boy who is now worried about what will happen to the baby deer now, the fawn. Okay, so let's start the first part. Yes. Jody allowed his thoughts to drift back to the fawn. He could not keep it out of his mind. He had held it in his dreams, in his arms. He slipped from the table and went to his father's bedside. Penny lay at rest. Penny is Mr. Buxter, Jody's father. His eyes were open and clear, but the pupils were still dark and dilated. Now, he has been bitten by the venomous snake, and he has been treated with utilizing one of a home remedy, and that home remedy was to kill the mother deer and utilizing its heart and the liver. Now this process has been done now that he is out of danger and he is lying in bed. But young Jody, who kept on thinking about the orphaned fawn, the baby deer. Now, what will happen to the baby? Because he has been made orphan and is still lonely in the jungle. So, what can be done with the baby deer? How would he manage in the big jungle? That is what is the worry of little Jody. So, what does he do? While he keeps on thinking about the little fawn and he sees that father is now feeling better, he goes to his bedside, and there is a constant thought in his mind that how can he talk about the fawn to the father, because he knows that the father may not allow the fawn to be brought in the family, because this family is not much a very well-to-do family, not very affluent. Perhaps they could not afford one more family member. Now, when you are bringing any animal in the house, you have to be responsible for them. They would require a lot of care, food, attention, and everything that you can offer to a small child has to be offered to an animal, to any house pet. See, those who have a doggy in the family, those who have kittens, those who have birds, a pair of budgies and all, they can all think about it. What all the things that you offer in a day to them? We offer everything what we have to offer to ourselves. Food, shelter, yes, a lot of attention, and they have to be looked after. The dog has to be walked out once in a day. Right? So, that is why Jody is little concerned about the orphaned fawn. So, he needs to take permission from the father, whether he can bring it to his house or not. Right, and this is just a good time for him to ask. Now, he goes to his father, whose pupils are the eyes, the dark part of the eyes was still dark and dilated. That means enlarged, perhaps due to the effect of the poison inside his body. But now that he feels better, Jody goes to him and he is asking a question. How are you feeling, Pa? Just fine, son. Old death has gone thieving elsewhere. Right. Look at the reply which is given by the father. Right. He says that old death has gone thieving elsewhere, but wasn't it a close shave? Right. Close shave, this is an idiom. That means it was a narrow escape from death. Old death, that means in the form of the rattlesnake, when the snake came to bite the father. That death has now gone thieving elsewhere. Thieving means stealing someone else's now. That means the rattlesnake has gone somewhere else. And for me, I was very close to death. This is what he says that. This is what he tells Jody. He explains that I have already escaped death now and I am feeling little better. I agree. This is spoken by Jody. Penny said, I am proud of you, boy. The way you kept your head and did what was needed. Keeping one's head, that means keeping one's head calm. That means one should know how to behave, how to treat, and how to deal with certain crucial situations. So sometimes they arise in emergency, right? So when there is a crucial time, when there is a time of emergency, one should still be keeping their calm. Otherwise, they will not know what to do next. So he's thanking Jody that though you are young, you knew what to do. You remained calm and you did what was needed. Right. On page number 88. Pa. You can see in this picture Mr. Buxter lying in bed and Jody thinking of the orphaned Fawn and asking for a permission. Pa. Yes, son. Do you recollect the doe and the fawn? So he's asking, do you remember the mother that we have killed and her baby? Look what he answers. I can never forget them. The poor doe saved me. That is certain. Pa, the fawn may be out there yet. It might be hungry and very scared. I suppose so. Pa, I am a big boy now and don't need to drink milk. Why don't I go and see if I can find the fawn and bring it here and raise it? See, the boy is so desperate for the father to permit him that he does ask all three questions at the same time. I want to bring in the fawn to the house. I want to raise it. And he also show the readiness that I am a big boy now. I am a grown-up child. I don't need to drink milk. That means he is ready to compromise on his share of milk, which he wants to give to the fawn. So he does not want to give any chance to the father to refuse his proposal. He does not want the father and the mother to worry about his share of milk, thinking that if one more family member comes in, then we have to sacrifice on Jody's share of milk. This shows one more strong characteristic of Jody's character, that though being very young, he is very matured up. He thinks like those, mature people. He thinks like adults. He wants to look after the fawn because he is worried. And he expects the father not to refuse this proposal. Now, see what happens to Penny. Penny lay quiet, staring at the ceiling. Boy, you have got me hemmed in. You see, he is in the situation where he cannot say yes, nor he can say no. He cannot say yes because his house may not be fitting to bring in the fawn inside. And he cannot say no because Buxters have killed the mother and now they should be held responsible for the fawn. Who will take the responsibility of the fawn now? The mother is gone. So this is a very, a sort of situation where Penny thinks that I cannot say no, nor I can say yes. Right. It won't take much to raise it, Pa. It will soon start eating leaves and acorns. Okay. the wild nuts, you see, that are brought, uh, and the leaves. Now, the deer are herbivore animals, right? They do not live on meat. They just live on the green things. They eat green wild grass and the shrubs. You see, the acorns and anything that is available in the wild. So, what is another concern? Look at this boy and his desperation that somehow he wants to bring the fawn home and to take his responsibility. See, he needs care because he is a child, but he thinks like an adult person. He is ready to compromise his food and he wants to give his share of milk to the fawn. Not only that, he's trying to convince the father that soon as the fawn grows up, it will start eating the grass and the green leaves. So we will not have to give him separate food. We will not have to make and cook separate food for the fawn. So please let me raise the fawn in absence of the mother. Right. You are smarter than boys of your age. Who speaks this line? The father. We took its mother and it wasn't to blame. Right. We took its mother and it wasn't to blame. Surely it seems ungrateful to leave it to starve. Son, I can't say no to you. I never thought I would live to see another day. You see, the father also feels the necessity to bring the fawn home since there is no one to look after the fawn in the jungle and it is roaming here and there, looking for the mother. Now, the father says that if Jody had not killed the mother doe and used her heart and liver to cure me, to depoison me, perhaps I wouldn't have seen the next day. But I am alive because of the mother doe. So now it is our moral responsibility to bring the fawn home. Right. So you see, he has finally given his permission to Jody to bring the fawn home. See, what is he asking? Can I ride back with meal wheel and see if I can find it? It, wherever you read it, it stands for the baby fawn, right? Tell your ma I said you can go. You see, he is recommending Jody that he should go into the jungle, find out where the fawn is and bring him home. In case if the mother asks, you have to tell your mother that I have given you the permission. This is what is recommended by Mr. Buxter, Jody's father. He sidled back to the table and sat down. His mother was pouring coffee for everyone. You see, now the father has been convinced. Now whose turn? The mother has to be convinced. So what did he do? While the mother was laying the table and preparing for coffee, he walked back very quietly as if he was trying not to be noticed by the mother. And he went to her and said, Ma, Pa says I can go bring back the fawn. Now as soon as she heard this, she held the coffee pot in middle of the air. You see, while she was pouring the coffee, she just stood there like a statue because she was not expecting Jody to ask something like this to her. What? Fawn? Who speaks this? Jody's mother, that is Ma Buxter. The fawn belonging to the doe we killed. We used the doe's liver to draw out the poison and saved Pa. Okay, see, Jody is justifying. When the mother says, what fawn? He replies, this is the same fawn orphaned by us. She gasped. That means as if she was, panting, breathing heavily. Well, for pity's sake. You see, sometimes we use this expression. When we are so fed up of something, we say, oh, for God's sake, for pity's sake. Pity means have mercy, right? Pa says it would be ungrateful to leave it to starve. Again, Jody speaks, he keeps on justifying what he has to. Because he is so desperate to bring the Fawn home, he is trying his level best now to convince the mother, because he knows that the mother is not going to be very easily convinced on the matter of bringing the Fawn home. So he says, the father has agreed that the Fawn has been made orphaned by us, so it is our responsibility, we should bring him home. Right. Doc Wilson said, oh, that's right, ma'am. Nothing in this world comes quite free. The boy is right and his daddy is also right. Please underline this in your textbook. This is a very good line for reference to context questions. Nothing in this world comes for free. Well, this is very practical. Doc Wilson is one of perhaps a family friend and a forester, as I have explained earlier. He says in this world we have to pay price for everything. If you are taking something, you better be ready to give something. And if you are unable to give anything, you better not to ask for anything. You see, this is like give and take relationship. So if the Buxters have taken the mother doe's life, now they have to be ready to offer. What are they going to offer? They are going to offer the Fawn a new life and to take the Fawn's responsibility till it grows up to its full size, and then it can be sent back into the wild. But who will do so? Who is supposed to do so? It is the Buxters who have to do this. Okay, so even Doc Wilson also joins in the argument and tries to explain things well to the mother, trying to convince her that, madam, nothing in this world comes for free. If you have utilized the mother deer's heart and the liver, now you're supposed to look after the Fawn. Right. Millville said, he can ride back with me. I'll help him find it. You see, Millville is a horse rider and also a forester. So he offers help from his side. He says, I can take Jody with me in the jungle and both of us can look for the Fawn. Millville said, okay, come on boy, we have got to get riding. Ma Buxter asked anxiously, that means in a worried manner. Yes, quite worrying. You will not be gone long. That means don't be long. You will have to come home in time. Don't take too much of time. This is like she's alerting them, warning them. Jody said, I'll be back before dinner for sure. To which Jody also ensures that he will be back before the dinner time. Millville mounted his horse and pulled Jody up behind him. As you can see, both of them are riding the horse in the picture. He said to Millville, do you think the Fawn's still here? Will you help me find him? Okay, now little Jody is still worried. He is so desperately seeking the Fawn to be taken to his house somehow by hook or crook. So he's asking Millville that, will you help me? Do you think the Fawn will be still roaming in this area where the mother was killed? We shall find him if he is alive. How you know it is he? Okay, now Millville is trying to console small Jody. He says if he is alive and still in the jungle, we'll surely find him. But how do you know that it is him or it's her? Okay. To which, what does Jody say? See, the spots were all in a line on a doe fawn. Pa says the spots are every which way. Okay, that means a male fawn will have the spots, those white color spots on the deer's body. they are all over without any design, unevenly spread, then it is a male fawn. And if they are all in one line, that means it is a female fawn, right? Since the fawn had all unevenly designed spots on his body, Jody thought it was him, because this explanation was given to Jody by his father. It seems the father had a very good experience of the jungle, right? Okay, let us quickly do the comprehension check exercise. Right, the first question says, what had happened to Jody's father? Well, Jody's father had been bitten by a rattlesnake, a poisonous snake, a reptile. How did the doe save Penny's life? Well, Jody's father killed the doe, the female deer. He used her heart and the liver to draw out the snake's poison from his body. And in this way, the doe was killed, but Penny's life was saved. Why does Jody want to bring the fawn home? Well, Jody's father had killed the doe, so without the mother deer, the fawn was likely to starve or perhaps meeting the sad death in the forest. So Jody wanted to bring the young fawn home and to raise it. Now, how does Jody know that the fawn is a male? Well, the spots on the fawn's body made Jody know that it was a male, as explained to him by his father. So here we completed part 1 today. In the next video, we shall be completing second part. I want you all, the comprehension check exercises, you can start writing in your CW as directed, and keep learning the second part till it comes, right? Thank you very much.